Welcome back, everyone. So it's time to blow off the dust of my good old Ashimmu. I haven't used the ship in a while. As you can see, I got the new Nanocore for it. We'll be waiting for the pink Nanocores to be available because the current one cannot be upgraded. The pink ones you can. Currently they're not released for faction ships, but when they do get released, I am getting one for the Ashimmu. So, what did I change on this ship? Well, let me show you that. Whoops, did not intend to leave ship. Well, then let me just get back to the vampire. There we go. So, what was changed since I flew this ship the last time? Well, first let's take a look at the appearance. Now, the classic appearance of the ship is one of my favorites, although the Nanocore just makes the ship look really good, so I prefer the second Tungsten Age appearance. As for the bonuses, nothing has been changed so far to my knowledge. The same bonuses that we had since the release of the game. Overall, a very deadly PvP ship, one of the best PvP ships in the game, as well as one of the best PvP factions in EVE. Overall, I think Mordu Legion might be the second best that we have at the moment. Alright, opening the Fending window, 602.80 DPS. Now I'm using the pulse lasers, or in some cases I use beam lasers in the medium slots. Dual large Nosferatus, 1 point and 1 web. I can also slap one large neutralizer if I want. That is a very power grid heavy ship. Overall, you have multiple fittings for it. Now, I personally love to fly this ship with dual webs and beam lasers because, I'll be honest, those beam lasers saved my skin too many times. If I had pulse lasers in the past, this ship would have been dead. But dual webs and beam lasers saved me in a lot of very risky situations. Now, somewhere I lost my top tier faction Nosferatu, so I'll just have to use the Imperial Navy until I find the Vriolikas large Nosferatu. The large neutralizers also work pretty well. You can use dual Nosses or one Nos and one neutralizer. All of them have a similar effect. I did a test with only Nosferatus. You can actually deplete the enemy ship's capacitor to 0 with them. The overall penalty does work. I know that in the past there was a conflict of thoughts between does it work, if it works or if it doesn't work, and I can confirm that the Nosferatus depleted the capacitor of the enemy ship to 0, which is good. That means you can use Nosferatus only. Now, as for the rigs, in the engineering section I only have the good old ancillary power grids to improve the power grid, and in the combat rigs I decided to use the new rig integrations for resistance. You will see the ship is going to be very tanky. Now here I am kind of thinking with what build to undock. Should I go with a neutralizer? Should I go with a Nosferatu? Should I go with dual webs? And I think I'll use a lot of it throughout this video just to see which one will work better now. Like I mentioned before, beam lasers are one of my favorite weapons on these ships. Okay, well, let's take a look at the resistance and speed of this upgraded Ashimmu. Now for the Nanocore I could have picked between speed, armor and DPS or damage. I went with damage because I think the ship was lacking in DPS. So 602.80 DPS, that should go up to 750 when I finish with some of my skills. Shield tank, almost 80% on all types, pretty good. I'm not gonna complain about the resistances of this ship, it's pretty tanky. You can make it armor tank if you like. I think both shield and armor tank works on the Ashimmu. I still have to try out the armor tank, I might actually end up liking it more, we will see. Speed 1827.16 meters per second, which is a little bit faster, if not a little bit, then a lot faster from my old Ashimmu that was going 1.3 kilometers per second. Overall, decent changes, decent upgrades, and of course with my cruiser skills being maxed out, this ship does perform really well. Alright, well, let's jump on the first target. Now, I'll be honest, getting 1v1 with this ship is getting kinda difficult, especially because everyone is running away from an Ashimmu. So I still prefer to use this ship for camps, because that way your target ain't going anywhere. So first target, we have a Harby, already pointed, webbed. This is my beam laser Ashimmu. The same good old build that I've used from a couple months ago, and overall I still absolutely love dual webs on this ship. Now, somewhere I lost my second Predator web. I remember docking somewhere and leaving it there. Sadly cannot find where that is, so I will have to buy another one, or I will just have to destroy a ship that carries one, and I'll just use that. Well, Harby already in low armor. There you have a chance to see one of the most expensive ships in the game. A Stratios, friendly of course. Still don't have that ship. We'll wait for the price for them to drop, and then I'll buy one. Alright, well, there goes the Harby down. Let's get the wreck. Okay, not bad. I got some pulse lasers. Can definitely use them. Okay, let's reapproach the gate. That Stratios is, by the way, very dangerous. Very dangerous ship. Second target, Dramiel. Oh man, this is gonna be a nice one. Now, dual large Nosferatus kill capacitors of frigates in an instant. And well, that Dramiel lost all its capacitor. It's webbed, it can't use the afterburner or micro warp drive, and they are down. Okay, a little fun fact. I think that pilot did try to tackle my Balgorn once. A month ago or something like that, I don't know. They escaped that time, but they did not escape a second encounter with another Blood Raider ship. Alright, well, on to the next target, Vexor. Now, I thought about using this ship with a combat scanner. I will have to try that out. So that's one aspect that I haven't tried out with the Ashimmu yet. It feels kinda weird though to use a combat scanner with the Ashimmu. I can do that with one web, one large NOS and a point, and of course the scanner. But I have to be careful because this ship is not that fast. The Ashimmu is well, it's not too slow. It's slower than a Cinnabal, that's for sure, but it's a lot more tankier and a lot more robust than your average faction cruiser or cruiser. A small spike in local. I am already getting paranoid. I used to be so paranoid flying this ship back in the day, because back then we used to get jumped a lot by other fleets, and of course I survived all of them with this ship because for some reason I'm very good with surviving in the Ashimmu. Can't say the same about my Cinnabal or other ships, but the Ashimmu, for some reason, I'm just surviving everything so far. Famous last words, I know. Alright, we have a Moa 2 Guardian. Well, that's gonna be a problem. I say that because these things are very tanky. So let's engage. Usually they are accompanied by a fleet. They are ships for a fleet, and there is still a small local spike there, so there's a chance that more ships are on the way. Well, there are more ships on the way. Whoops, let's not do that. Let's unlock. Okay. Moa 2 Guardian has been webbed. Its capacitor is going down. It will lose capacitor in a couple moments. You will notice when they lose cap, when they start take full shield damage. I'm at 25 kilometers, keeping my distance, although I should approach to 22, 21 kilometer. Have one web available in case anything else decides to come in, but local slowly going down, so let's approach and apply the second web on the Moatu Guardian. Their capacitor is getting low at this moment. Soon they will be taking full damage and they will go down because, well, there we go, its capacitor is down, it lost its resistances and now they are taking full damage. Even one Nosferatu, even one large Nosferatu does plenty of damage to capacitor of basically any ship in the game. Now the Moa is in hull. One or two more hits and there we go, nice. That was a sweet kill. We destroyed one very tanky Moa that did not have enough capacitor to hold out. Alright, there's the gate, let's reapproach the gate. Sweet loot, by the way. That Moa was running a... They were running a Dead Space, I believe. Next target, we have a Prophecy. Let's focus fire. Okay, orbit at 16 kilometers. This is my build with pulse lasers, I believe. Yeah, yeah, that's the dual large NOS and pulse lasers. This means this ship will be extremely hard to kill, especially with the shield booster running. It is, by the way, cap stable with this current fit. Okay, that was a combat prophecy. Interesting. Haven't seen a scanner on a prophecy, a combat scanner on a prophecy. Orbiting back to the gate. Now, one thing that I don't like with this build is that I can't use a micro warp drive. I need like 2 power grid for a micro warp drive. Now, this is a funny one. This is a Logi Skite. Has been already tackled, its capacitor already at 0. Now this was a bait. As you will see, there's a Daredevil coming in. I am webbed. Okay, that's fine. Time to shoot that Daredevil. Daredevil's capacitor already dead. How I know? Well, most of the ships that you see here are not gonna survive this. We got jumped by 8 frigates, and I am the primary target, so I'll do the smart move and I will reapproach the gate while tanking all the damage. Now they are mostly frigates, I can tank a lot of damage, so I'm just gonna serve as a bullet sponge. I got scrambled, pointed, webbed, whatnot. Let's get that drone back to the drone bay. So that Cruor, and I believe that Daredevil that's now dead, already lost their capacitors. Haven't seen what other ship I have my Gnosis on, so all of these frigates now are slowly going down. I'm just orbiting the gate, waiting for more ships to pop in. And the command in chat was bail, so I'll warp out. I'll be back though, because we literally destroyed all of them. We destroyed all of them. Now that was a very funny situation. A very funny situation. Wish that I did, however, stay, because there was no need to bail. But I warped just in case, so we'll be back. Overall, that was a funny little moment. So technically, I think I did a good thing by applying my Nosferatus on these two ships. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that crew did warp out, did escape. But that Daredevil did not. It wasn't that lucky. Yeah, there you go. 3 kills, okay, in the chat, I see. Overall, good fight, I guess. The mistake that they did is their big mistake here was focusing on me. They should have focused on the other cruiser that had the bubble up. I wasn't the big threat there, although I was the reason why that Daredevil went down. Alright, well, let's regroup with my fleet. Let's see if they come back. If they come back... Oh, there we go. The crew escaped with no capacitor. Let's take a look. Alright, let's proceed towards the next target.
Warp drive active.
Now here is where I attempted to use the ship for scanning. Although I have to say it does not work that good for that. This is my build with dual Nosferatus and both large, of course, 3 large modules and 1 afterburner. Unfortunately landed a little bit far away from that prophecy, so I will attempt to close distance, but they're just, well, this ship is too slow with the afterburner and they are already too far away and they warped off. Next target, Sunensis. I have been waiting to kill one of these ships for a very long time and I finally get the chance to do that, so have to include that kill here, because yeah, these ships are rare, they're gift, they're good for scanning, and this is one of the first ones that I had as a kill. Next one, Hound 2. Alright, let's quickly kill the capacitor of that bomber as well. Okay, capacitor dead, and well, the bomber is dead as well. So 1 cycle is enough to kill the capacitor of any frigate and any destroyer. For cruisers, couple cycles would be needed, but in all cases you will kill the capacitor of any cruiser. Now, speaking about battleships, well, 2 large Nosferatus, yeah, that can drain battleships. You just have to be careful at keeping them at range, and of course not letting them too close to you or too far. That was 1, I believe, exploration frigate, Imicus Covertops. It dropped some nice stuff, I believe. The next target is this retriever. Also got destroyed very quickly. In this case, having an Ashimmu was an overkill. We already have a Tempest that literally destroyed that ship in seconds. There is a Tyra. Now there's a joke running in the official EVE Discord server. I've basically requested someone to send a Tyra through Syndicate, and well, someone actually did send a Tyra through Syndicate, so thanks for that, I guess. Did not expect that someone will actually do that, but they did, so mad respect. Mad respect. Okay, they have been potted. Let's reorbit the gate. Next target. This is a battleship, I believe, because this is a familiar setting. Now, battleships can be quite difficult. I'm not afraid to jump a battleship with the Ashimmu. I can tank them for quite some time. Oh, well, it's not a battleship. It is a blue Cyclone. What a lucky Cyclone. They're blue. Okay, let's return to the station. And they're actually warping out. Well, I'm not that scary. I am not shooting at blues. Okay, on the next one. Again in the same system. This one is a mission runner. Now, yeah, this is the battleship, a Dominic's. Okay, now unfortunately I'm very far away, so let's try to burn towards them. They seem to be AFK and already in 60% armor. Interesting. And they're using sentries in the large drones. Well, if I'm lucky, that Dominic's is asleep. Oh, well, famous last words. They were not asleep, unfortunately. And they went to the gate. Well then, that was a little small PvP run with this ship. Again, I'm very glad to fly the Ashimmu again. Overall, a very, very dangerous ship. Now, next time, I think I'll show you another build that works for this ship quite well. The next build is going to be very evil, because you have way too much power grid on the ship, and you can actually do some very evil things with the ship with that build, with those rigs. Now currently they are quite expensive, so I'm still trying to figure out what would be the best possible combination with those rigs and with that build. Like I said before, I have problems fitting one micro warp drive, so we'll have to sacrifice a module in order to fit one micro warp drive, because I really need at least over 1.5 kilometer per second speed for tackling or for running away or for kiting, depends on what you want to do with this ship. As for the other aspects, other PvE aspects, well, same as the Belgorn, no one wants to fight an Ashimmu, so if you need a ship to do missions in low sec, then the Ashimmu is definitely a good choice, because even players who are mainly here for PvP, they're gonna think twice before jumping an Ashimmu running a mission or story, because, well, in my case, this one is built for PvP, so if anyone jumps in, I will have them exactly where I want them to be, and that is within my web range and of course within my Nosferatu range. Well then, that was a fun little ride. Very interesting ship so far. And with that being said, hope that you enjoyed. Stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.